What up, Listo?
So,
If you were in the Lord of the Rings trilogy, which character would you be?
hard decision, but probably Gollum.
Gollum? Why would you be Gollum?
I don't know.
What makes you Gollum? He's their slave, pretty much. He's pathetic, he's whiny, he's snivelly, he's obsessed with the ring.
He's just cool.
What's cool about him? They put like a leash on him and force him to lead them, and like he's pathetic.
I know, but he's like fast. Well, true, he did die in the movie, so he'd probably be my second favorite.
Who would you be?
Who would I be?
Yeah. If you were one of the characters, which character would you be?
Ooh, Sam probably.
Sam?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Sam.
That's a great choice. I was gonna say I'm Sam, and you're Frodo.
No.
Yeah,
No.
because Frodo's like the main character. He's the hero of the story. He's the popular one, right? And then there's Sam, who's like the loyal one, and he's super brave. He's probably the true hero of the movie, and he literally carries Frodo up Mount Doom, just like how I carry you in Fortnite.
Bro, that's crazy.
No, just kidding. I'd probably be Aragorn.
Aragorn's pretty cool, yeah. Or Legolas.
Legolas, Gandalf. These movies are filled with amazing characters.
Yeah. I also like Gimli.
I like them all.
Gimli was the funniest.
I like them all. I think really, Gollum is the worst answer that you possibly could have gave.
Welcome to the show, Mr. Father-Son vibe. Listo and Corpse, yeah, we're keeping it alive. Talking movies, board games, video game grind. Two minds combined, sharp wit intertwined. ListoCorps, where the convo's a feast. From the classics to the new, with the beauty and the beast. Grab a seat, hit play, let the banter increase. Father and son, we unleash the unleashed. Corpse got the wisdom, the dad jokes galore. Listo bringing heat, young blood never a bore. Controllers and hand dice hitting the floor. Breaking down the lore, always coming back for more. From the screen to the table, we dissect and explore. Hidden gems and blockbusters, legends and the lore. Press start, roll the dice, open up the next door. Father-son duo, never hear you yell and snore. Corpse got the deep cuts, Listo keeps it fresh. Opinions fly sharp like a cinematic sketch. Talking plot twist, Easter eggs, what to digest. A podcast, the quest, every topic gets addressed. ListoCorps, where the convo's a feast. From the classics to the new, with the beauty and the beast. Grab a seat, hit play, let the banter increase. Father and son, we unleash the unleashed.
Listo! Welcome to the first ever episode of the ListoCorps Podcast. I'm Corpse.
I'm Listo.
And we are a father-son duo who are just going to review whatever we want, whenever we want, really. We're going to stick to our own schedule and just review all the things that we think are awesome. Movies, video games, board games, whatever we're up to. We're going to try and have every episode kind of a central theme. Like this week, or this episode, our very first episode ever, we're going to do a Lord of the Rings deep dive into the movies, a bunch of the video games.
And the board games, which we have 3. I don't think we have the 2 towers, but we do have the full trilogy and the Hobbit.
That's right. So we've got a bunch of media, a bunch of games, a bunch of stuff to go through. For this one, we went through the original, or the first trilogy Lord of the Rings movies. I played like 5 or 6 of the video games, and we played one of the board games.
And I didn't start this game, but my sister and my dad did. It's a Lego Lord of the Rings game.
That's right.
But there's only one of them, so it's the full, it's all 3 of the movies.
So we have been going crazy on Lord of the Rings. We do plan on doing more Lord of the Rings episodes in the future. Right now, Listo and I are reading The Hobbit, the book. And then we'll watch those movies. play some of those video games, those board games as well. And then we might even do a third Lord of the Rings episode where we've got Ralph Bakshi's animated Lord of the Rings Part 1. There's 2 animated Hobbit movies, and then there was a War of Rohan movie that just came out last year. I think there's another Lord of the Rings animated movie coming out here soon too. So no shortage of Lord of the Rings stuff for us to do. That's the central theme of this episode. We're also going to talk about just anything else that we've been watching or gaming lately. And just starting with Listo, what's been going on in your life lately?
Hockey, baseball, and other sports, yeah. And
May has been incredibly crazy.
Yeah, even my birthday has been in May, but
someone else's birthday was at the start of May too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Listo himself here and myself, we welcomed a new member of the family into the world at the end of April. So Listo has 2 younger sisters now. On top of that, he played spring ice hockey this year, roller hockey, and baseball. And we pretty much were incredibly busy all May to the point where it was just almost too much, I think.
Yeah, that's why we didn't start a podcast too earlier, because we were just so busy.
Crazy busy for the last month. So out of your spring sports, which one's your favorite?
Hockey.
Which one, ice hockey or roller hockey?
Ice.
Ice hockey with your spring team this year.
It was fun.
It was fun, eh?
Winter was a little bit funner, but
Winter,
still.
I agree. Yeah, your skating definitely improved with the extra ice times in spring. And it's short and sweet too, like it's not too long.
No.
And yeah, now, so that ended. You're still playing roller hockey on Wednesdays, which is kind of more casual. It's more like a rec thing, recreational thing. It's super chill. And baseball playoffs start next week.
Yeah,
so pretty much just one more week of baseball, and then we get our lives back. We take the summer off. We do some camping.
Unless we stay in the playoffs.
Unless we stay in the playoffs, then it would just be one more week after that. So still the end is in sight for that.
Yeah.
Pretty challenging season we've had in baseball this year.
Yeah. We were terrible.
We were terrible. Not the best team we've ever had, but a bunch of good kids on the team, eh? Yep. Everyone's still having fun out there. That's what it's all about.
Yep.
And we did win a game, finally.
Yeah.
Last week of baseball, we finally won a game against a team we had lost to earlier in the season.
But we lost by 2.
Yeah, so
yeah, we played well.
We saw some success here later on in the season. Yeah, so that's gonna wrap up, and then we've got summer where we don't put you or your sister in any sports through the summer. That way we can spend time at the beach, we can go camping, we can spend time outside, bike rides, just enjoy the nice weather while it's here.
Yeah.
And I've got 2 weeks off in August this year too, so we'll maybe go see some cousins or something. Yeah, so things are about to calm down for us, and this is our first weekend that we've had off in a while too. So why not? Why not record a podcast and plan some future episodes and get this thing rolling, right?
Yeah, and some other stuff. I've been playing some video games lately.
What games have you been playing?
Fortnite. A lot of baseball games, hockey games, wrestling games.
Sports games and Fortnite, pretty much, eh? That's what you like to play?
Other horror games, so, yeah.
Which horror games have you been playing?
Well, I started Jason Friday the 13th a long time ago.
Yeah, that's a fun game, eh?
Yeah, and I've also been playing a little bit of...
We started that Predator hunting ground game.
Yeah, we started it. He started it yesterday. I just finished the tutorial today.
And that game, it seems like it's fun because it's the Predator, but it seems like a pretty small game. Like there's like 2 online game modes, it looks like, that you can play, and it's all online with like 5 or 6 people in one match. So it doesn't look like a huge game, but because it's Predator, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I feel like it's better than the Michael Myers game because like you
Michael Myers or the Jason one?
The Jason, sorry.
The Jason one.
And you can like leap in the air and you can just slam. It's cool. You can climb trees.
His powers are pretty cool. I like the Jason game better so far anyways, just because it has single player missions as well.
Yeah.
This one only has strictly online and like 2 game modes. Like it's a small game.
There's an offline version.
I don't think so. I tried to see. Well, we'll see. We'll go deeper into that too, and we'll talk about that later because I think we'll do some Predator stuff for our next episode. But yeah, see that.
What have you been up to?
What have I been up to? Lord of the Rings games. Been crushing Lord of the Rings games. I played. What else did I play? I played that Family Guy game for PS2, which was pretty funny, but it got pretty annoying after a while. The controls are pretty sketchy, and the levels were awesome. Like, there's levels where you're Peter Griffin and you just go around fighting women and children, which was a little ridiculous. You play as Stewie and you go to like the hospital and there's a bunch of pregnant women. You jump on their bellies and they shoot out like babies and aliens and stuff. And you play as Brian and you have to like sneak through a prison where and you're in the prison shower and all the prisoners are playing hide and seek and tickling each other and stuff, and you have to sneak through and hide in the bubbles and stuff. So the levels were really funny, but it got to a point in the game where you're jumping and it's a platformer at certain parts, and the controls just weren't there, and it just got annoying to the point where I wasn't having fun. And that's one game that I probably won't play all the way through. I like to complete games, but I kind of turned that one off and said I've had enough of that, I think. So I played that game. What else have I played recently? A bunch of Lord of the Rings games and a little bit of Fortnite with you. What's going on in Fortnite right now?
So Fortnite new season starts today, 1 hour, and the last season with Star Wars. It was the coolest Star Wars season I've ever played in. But the one thing that wasn't cool is you couldn't find lightsabers on the ground anymore. You would have to train. There would only be like 3 of them in the game unless you got Darth Vader. So there would be 4, including Darth Vader. And what also was cool is that you could get the Star Destroyer portal, which was very cool, but I only got it once, surprisingly.
That was one time when I was playing with you?
Yeah, that was the one time you played in the season with me. And because I was on this cliff fighting the guy, and then it just spawned it right in front of me. I didn't even have to move. It just spawned on my body. And I didn't even want to go in it.
Fluked out.
And it just sent me in it. And then...
So easy to get eliminations in that thing, eh?
I know. And we popped we got like 25 kills in that thing. Yeah. And then like there were 16 people left and we all died.
I like... For this season, well, I don't know if I like it or not. It's hard to say, but all the guns are like blasters from Star Wars. So
and they're infinite. You don't have to find ammo.
Full ammo, yeah.
But there's ammo crates still.
There's still ammo crates.
and you're like you go to a chest and you're like looking for a med kit. All of a sudden you open a chest and just ammo comes up.
Which is useless. You don't need it for anything. Yeah. They all infinite ammo. The guns do overheat though.
Yeah, if you get one medallion, it makes you overheat. You shoot the gun, and then it just goes like it's 2 seconds and it's back. Yeah. That's what's cool. And when you could like get Darth Vader, and like you would hold down a button, you could talk to him. It was cool. Like you would join your party. Yeah. You would talk to him. I got him one day, and I got him 2 days in a row, and my game air crashed. I got an air crash, and there's one person left, and my game air crashed.
Weak. Yeah, I didn't play a ton of Fortnite this season. I played with your sister the one day, trying to teach her how to play, and we got three victory royales in a row somehow. Just the 2 of us playing.
And then the new season starts in 1 hour, which would be cool. It's gonna be like it's Batman and Superman. I'm not going to get the Battle Pass because I already have Superman, so I don't want to get him again, but Killer Croc's in it, Robin's in it, Lex Luthor's in it.
Yeah, they really, in the summertime, it seems like they pull out their biggest IPs, because I'm sure, the weather's nice outside, so people aren't gaming as much. So they have to go, well, May the 4th, we'll go Star Wars. And then,
they've done that every year.
They do it every year in May because, we're busy in May, so we can't game as much as we want to.
I still game, though.
You still game, but there's 4 days a week where you get home from school and...
I'm gone.
We eat supper and go to play sports, like right away. So
Mondays I have a free day. Well, my sister doesn't. She goes to swimming.
Swimming lessons, right.
And Thursdays she has gymnastics. I have...
It's ridiculous. So, yeah, the people behind Epic Games there, they see that, there's less people playing in these months, so they pull out Star Wars. That's gonna suck people in, right? Like that makes me want to play just because it's Star Wars. And now they're gonna go DC. It sounds like with Batman, Superman, these well-known characters, and
then probably they're gonna bring back Transformers. So then it's just gonna.
Or Dragon Ball was one of my favorites.
Dragon Ball was a super fun one where you could go, oh my god, and thing. I liked when they would go on a boat and you would do and the boat would just flip over. That was cool. But yeah, so yeah, we might hop into Lord of the Rings now.
You ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
Well, let's keep talking about.
But...
I like your segue, but we got time to kill. But yeah, anyways, back to we're talking about Fortnite. With the new season coming out, we could possibly do an episode on the new season as well. Like when the new seasons come out, I'll hop in and do the first round of quests. Because the quests really help you get to know the map and all the new things.
I have done one quest this season.
You're not a big quester,
and he played 4 games, and he's done 56 quests.
Yeah, well, the quests teach you about everything that all the new stuff that the season has to offer. It forces you to use certain weapons, and run around and meet all the NPCs on the map and everything. So, if there's a new season, I'll hop on. I'll do the first round of quests. Because I like to move on. I don't like to play the same game all the time. I like to move on and play other games. So I'll jump in for that, and we can do an episode on the new season, once that comes out. Because I know how much you like that game. So we can do some Fortnite episodes.
The comic books, they were good until they stopped making them.
They did a crossover with Marvel, right?
Yeah.
There was I think it was, you've got a couple of them.
I've got
Marvel
4.
Fortnite crossover or something like that.
Yeah, and then they just stopped making them now. There's no longer anymore.
Yeah, there isn't a ton of Fortnite stuff outside of the games. You can get all the action figures, and then you can play the games, but there aren't Fortnite books or Fortnite TV shows or Fortnite movies. It's all kind of in itself. But it's a free game, and it is. Admittedly, it's an awesome game. I'll say that. A lot of people think it's just for kids, but I don't know. It's a really good game. Also, you've been gaming. What did I catch you gaming? You've been playing a lot of WWE.
Yeah.
What's your go-to game mode on WWE?
My go-to game mode?
Yeah.
Either it's a gauntlet match, a backstage brawl, or tag team match. 4-on-4 tag team match.
And who's your go-to character?
My go-to character, I change it a lot, but the one that I've done the most I gotta go with Jey Uso.
Nice.
He's my favorite wrestler right now.
He's had a great character arc in the show. I remember, I don't know, would it be a couple years ago when he was with the Bloodline?
He still is.
And Roman Reigns. They were kind of the bad guys. They were the shoes. Everyone kind of hated them.
Yeah.
And then...
ever since Solo Sikoa left.
All those guys kind of showed up, and then the whole thing with Sami Zayn, and everybody turning on each other, and
now Jey Uso just left the Bloodline. He's no longer a part of them. He's just his own yeet now. He's his own
yeet, and he doesn't follow orders anymore, and he makes his own decisions, and he doesn't want to stab people in the back. So he had a good character arc to where now, I know I'm cheering for the guy too. But he's a good guy now.
And he won the Royal Rumble on February 2nd, his birthday, Corpse's birthday. He won the Royal Rumble, and then he went to WrestleMania, won the Heavyweight Championship against Gunther. Now they're facing each other again for the title at Crown Jewel, So Fortnite, WWE, MLB, you been playing any of that? Sometimes. The show 25 is kind of sketchy.
Is it?
It's air. Too many people are
glitches?
Playing it. It's
really?
Too many people are playing it, and I play online.
Yeah.
So it's just way too hard because it's just so glitchy with the online people playing.
Weird.
They're just freezing because they're all PS4. Most of them are PS4, and then because you can get PS4 for 2025, and and they just their game just freezes mid-hit. I get a hit and they just freeze. Their whole game freezes.
That's weak.
I'm just getting infield home runs even if I hit a shortstop.
Because they're frozen.
Because they're frozen, so they can't do anything.
All right. Any other games? Probably not. Hey, did you play any of that Among Us game that you downloaded?
I played a little bit today, yeah. I couldn't figure out how to do on the chat. because everyone was like, "Pig, start!" Because there's a leader. Round responded to the leader, and everyone kept calling him "you little stinky starter" because he wasn't starting it. And they were all kids, and they were just like, "Stinky start, stinky start."
Jeez.
And his name was Stuck.
I know absolutely nothing about that game. I've heard of it. I have not seen anything about it. I don't know anything.
It's fun.
What do you do in that game?
So there's like maybe 3, 2, or 1 imposter. And if you're the crewmate, you run around doing tasks and try not to die. And if someone sees their dead body, they'll go to and they'll say dead body report. And then you'll vote who you think killed the dead body. Or you can do emergency meeting if you see someone like they pull out a knife and they start chasing someone. You can do emergency meeting.
Okay, interesting.
But you have to press a button.
So you gotta sneak around, and if you're the guy, you have to kill people without them knowing it's you.
There was one part where I was happy because I was just stuck in the vent. I didn't know how to leave the vent because you can go in vents. I was just cruising around. I couldn't do anything because I couldn't go anywhere. So then I just couldn't do anything, and yeah. And then, like, they hit emergency meeting to get me out because this guy, you can say stuff on the chat. Well, you can't. I don't know how to text on the chat, like my words. But you can say like help, and I said help, and I said stuck in vent.
Yeah.
And they hit the emergency button for no reason. Everyone just pressed skip because they wanted me to get out. Everyone just pressed skip.
Jeez.
Yeah. So yeah.
Well, that game sounds interesting. Then we got, for your birthday, I got both of us.
A VR.
VR headsets, too. The MetaQuest
They're
3
cool.
S's.
They're cool. I think they're the 3S's. Yeah, they're not the 2s. Well, yeah, but, like, I haven't played in, like, about 2 months.
We haven't turned them on lately. We've been gaming too many different other things, but it's also with your new sister and sports and everything. It's hard to,
I went on it one day to, like, talk to Remy about something. I went on to just call him and talk to him. But yeah, that's mostly it.
Like, I can throw on the PlayStation upstairs, and like today we were playing Call of Duty. We can throw that on, and I can pause it if your sister's crying and I need to rock her back to sleep or something like that. Like, you can't do that with the MetaQuest on your face. Like, you're gone from the rest of the world when you're in those things, right? They are super cool though, and I think we'll probably do a MetaQuest episode at some point.
One point.
My
games that are now is Population 1.
Population 1 is so dope.
And
it's basically Fortnite, but first-person shooter and VR.
VR.
It is very cool.
And you have to pick up guns, and if you let go of them, you can throw guns now.
Yeah.
They changed it, and also, I played a little bit of Scary Baboon, Gorilla Tag, Animal Company, some of those games, yeah.
I played one called Hellseeker?
Hellseeker, yeah.
Hellseeker, which was pretty cool, and I'll probably review it another day on here. We'll do a MetaQuest episode when we've got some time to sit down and really play some of those games. But yeah, those are the future. But VR is crazy. Arizona Sunshine.
Arizona Sunshine's fun, but like I'm small in real life, and I'm small in the game because it tracks how small you are in real life. And so I start at the beginning, and I can't reach the ammo. It's too high. I'm smaller than the chairs in the game.
You can't see the inside the ammo crates to grab the ammo. So you were standing on the couch so you could see down into
it doesn't even work because it only goes me like 2 steps. I'm still small. And then so I like tried.
I know there is a mode on that where you can say like sitting or something like that, and then it will adjust it so that you're tall enough to see into those things. So we just had it set to your like actual height. And that was a mistake because you can't reach the ammo crates, which is hilarious.
And plus, it's not online. Our things are glitching. They won't play online.
Yeah, we got to get the full version in order to play online. But we just tested that out. That might be the first game that we actually buy since Population 1 is free to play, and I got Hellseeker for free as well. But
we got this hockey game, and it
made me want to throw up.
It made me want to throw up. Like, it was terrible. Like, it wasn't a fun game. I wasn't having fun.
I get bad motion sickness, but, like, certain games I'm fine with, but that one...
That was bad.
That wrecked me. I had to go take, like, a nap.
Yeah.
So we won't be doing that again.
No,
But
we
no,
don't
there's
leave it that
there's
way.
some of the games aren't bad for the motion sickness.
Like Population 1's fine.
It's awesome. That's a really good game. So we'll do more VR talk another day.
Mm-hmm.
And movies. You watch any movies lately?
Movies, yeah, just baseball.
We watched a bunch of baseball movies in May, and then we watched a big one when was that? Was that last weekend? Me, you, and your sister watched It Chapter 1.
It? We never watched it.
It Chapter 1 with Pennywise?
Oh, yeah, Pennywise. Yeah, we watched it.
We'd talk about that movie.
Oh, yeah, that movie was good. My favorite character died in, like, the first 5 minutes of the movie. Georgie's dead. Like, he's dead.
Spoiler alert. Sorry about that. The whole movie, Lisa was hoping that they find Georgie. Why aren't they looking for him here? Like, and when they found all those bodies that were floating in the air, or whatever, they're like,
one of them is Georgie because they found Georgie's coat, and I'm like, Georgie's up there. Georgie's up there. Georgie is up there.
And the girl was floating, and they pulled her down, and she was fine. So that's a good question. It's like, why didn't they look at the rest of the floating people?
Yeah,
See, maybe he was up there.
Maybe,
but that was the best part of the movie, though, at the beginning when he gets his arm bitten off.
No,
that's my favorite part of the movie.
No, it wasn't. My favorite movie was when he turned like those octopus arms like that were massive. Yeah. That was cool.
Yeah, he goes crazy at the end for sure. You and your sister covering your eyes for half the movie.
Not half. She was under a blanket.
Yeah, I heard you too.
I kinda was. I was.
That was fun watching you guys freak out. So that's a good movie for. You know, it's rated R or 18A or something like that, but it's just because it's like super scary and there is some bloody scenes in it, but it's not a hard R-rated movie. Like there aren't any inappropriate scenes. Like,
I don't think there was, no.
No, it's just violent and scary and a little bloody.
Yeah.
So I was fine with you guys watching that one, and it freaked you out. And we all slept together that night too, didn't we?
Yep.
You guys weren't going anywhere with me after that.
I could have slept in my room because you guys were just sleeping outside my room. So I could have slept in my room. But I'm not sleeping down there by myself. I sleep downstairs. I'm not sleeping downstairs by myself.
After watching It Chapter 1?
No.
So you gotta watch It Chapter 2 now.
Which one's better, do you think?
I like the first one better. The second one, they're all grown up, so there's no kids in it anymore. And the kids are better. And It Chapter 1, both these It movies they're based off of a book written by Stephen King, who's probably the most famous horror story writer
in the world.
Yeah, he's written tons of movies that have been tons of books that have been turned into movies, and yeah, he's kind of known as like the king of horror novels, Stephen King, and so his movie his book It had been made into movies before. This isn't the first time. Like this is like a redo again. So it was in the 1990s. So I would have been a kid, and they came out. They're called made-for-TV movies. So they have lower budgets. They're not like as polished. They don't look quite as good. The acting's maybe not as good. If you don't know what made-for-TV is, it's hard to explain exactly what it is. They just kind of look cheaper, but sometimes they're still good. And the original It in the 90s was, like, a lot of people really liked those movies. I think they're pretty good. It'd be hard for me to show you those movies after you saw the new ones, because the new ones are just like so much more money went into them. They're so much more polished. They're modern, and they did a really good job with them. A lot of the time when you remake a movie or redo the same story,
like that,
this like 30 years after the first one, a lot of the time, like people, if they love the original ones, it's really hard to live up to that reputation again. But this one, I think, really did it.
Do you know when they're adults, do they still look for Georgie?
I don't believe they do. I think they've accepted that Georgie is no longer with them by that point. But anyways, yeah, what I was getting to was even the original one, the second movie, like It Part 2, wasn't as good as It Part 1. The first part with all the kids is in both movies, the original and the newer version. The parts with the Chapter 1, Part 1 are both better than Part 2, Chapter 2. So, in my opinion, anyways, and I think a lot of people agree with that. I know watching them with you guys, it'll probably be just as fun because you guys will freak out just as much at all the jump scares and everything. But for me, if I had to pick one, it's definitely the first in both series. But yeah, classic horror movie, Pennywise. You guys got to meet him. Who do you think's the scariest horror? What's the scariest horror movie you've ever seen? Is that it? It Chapter 1, or have you seen something scarier than that before?
Chucky's scary. Chucky's really scary. There's a lot of jump scares in Chucky, which is...
Yeah, he hops out at you. He always creeps me out because he's got a knife and he's like right down by your ankles. Like, I would not want to get my ankle sliced by Chucky.
No,
that makes me squirm a little bit thinking about him like popping out from under a kitchen table or a bed or something and stabbing you in the foot or the ankle.
Yeah, like, well, he still would be alive. That's what's good about him, because he's small, so he can only chop your spots that you won't die with.
Yeah.
Which is good, which is cool.
Well, then if you fall on the ground, then he could hop on you.
Yeah, but like still.
And then also, for all those movies, no one would ever think like, oh, this is a doll that's killing people. Like, no, like that's no. Why would you ever think that, right? Like, oh, it's the doll, right? Like dolls don't come to life. That's not a real thing that happens. So if that did happen, you would never expect that, right?
Yeah. I could be scared. But still, yeah. Probably, yeah. No, Xenomorph. Scary.
Alien, you think is the scariest one?
No, it's not that scary.
That's my favorite one, probably. Well, it's up there. Anyways.
Terminator's good.
Terminator's good. You're looking at the wall of horror figures right now, trying to figure out. What about Jaws?
Jaws was scary. I got freaked out when I was like 5. I haven't watched that movie since I was 5, and I watched it when like a couple 3 months ago, I think. And like I was not scared at all. Like,
you made it through that time. The first time we tried to watch it, you made me turn it off.
I made you turn it off at the first scene when Jaws ate that girl.
Yeah.
Scared the McDog. Freddy's scary. I feel like Freddy vs. Jason. That was a super scary movie.
Yeah.
That scared me bad, but
it's probably the scariest one that you guys have seen, I think, eh?
Yeah.
I think it is. That's the most scared I've seen you guys in a movie. Your sister's pretty good with scary movies, but you were both squirming. And lots of jump scares.
Lots of jump scares. That's what's creeping me out.
And when he runs up, that silly run that he does.
Yeah, that's funny. That is funny.
You guys were doing a good impression of that.
I had the best impression. I was scaring her like so hard.
So that's the only movie I could think of that we watched recently. What?
We've watched a lot of Michael Myers movies. It's my sister's fave.
Yeah, we haven't watched any recently, but we have seen lots.
Yeah, so...
And then last weekend, we played a board game too. You remember that board game we played? Nightmare.
Oh.
The classic VHS horror board game.
My sister was the scariest person
I'm
ever.
scared again. Like, I have been finding the ways to scare her. Apparently, she does have limits. But Nightmare, the original VHS board game, is a classic horror game. I remember it when I was a kid. People would just put the videotape on. You wouldn't even play the game. You would just put the video on, and then the gatekeeper pops up on there and calls you funny names. And
yeah, he called me
a maggot.
A maggot. And what else did he call me?
I don't remember. I just remember he called me an old maggot.
Yeah. No, I got called the little maggot. That's what I got called.
You were the little maggot?
The youngest in the game.
Little maggot.
You cheated, though. You cheated playing.
I won, is what you mean to say.
Yeah, but you got Pennywise.
Yeah, I know. Your sister ended up quitting right at the beginning.
And
She joined my team. And when you get to the end, you have to flip over a card. And we all wrote on a card our biggest fear.
Uh-huh.
And if you flipped over your biggest fear at the end, you lost the game. And I flipped over
Pennywise, which is my sister.
Your sister's, and she was on my team technically.
So technically, you lost.
I should have pulled. I said I just got excited and said I won. That's not my greatest fear, but it was my teammates, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And
so you should have flipped up another card.
We should have flipped up a second card because we should have taken hers out of the game. But whatever. it's that game.
It's a fun game.
It's a fun game. It could take the timer starts when you start the VHS, and it can be an hour is how long the game can last. We got it done in about 40 minutes, I think, eh?
Yeah, because we had to wait. Because I made you guys wait at 43.2030. So, because I already
we did make it to 43. So, yeah, we're kind of close. Your mother and I played that game with Leland and his wife a couple years ago, and
They watch a lot of movies, too.
Yeah, we didn't beat the timer.
No.
So, this time we beat the timer, and I think, yeah, the less amount of people that you play with, the easier that game is, because you need to collect the keys and get to the end, right? So if you had 6 players playing, that means it's going to take that much longer for your turn to come around, which means it's going to take that much longer for you to collect all the keys. So the more players you have, the harder that game is, I'm guessing.
I think you can only play it up to like 6.
6 is the total amount, yeah. And then we have that board game, and then we have the expansions. We have part 2 and 3 that we can play sometime as well, because that game was pretty fun, actually.
Part 3, I feel like, is the scariest. It looks the scariest. The board looks the scariest.
So yeah, that was fun. That was the board game we played, the movies we watched, the games we've been playing. I guess
I feel like we should get started on
it's time
for the Lord of the Rings.
The Lord of the Rings. The Lord of the Rings Trilogy. This was
a good movie.
A good movie, you say? This is fun for me to show to you guys, as I think Lord of the Rings is one of the best movies ever made. And
should we start with the movies, then do the video games, and then finish off with the board games?
Something like that, yeah. I never know when I show you guys movies if you're going to be able to, if it's going to hold your interest or if you're going to like it or not. And even your sister liked these movies. Yeah. Both you guys were right into them.
I'm usually into movies.
You're usually into movies. Every once in a while I'll put something on and you guys just will have no interest in it. But I was happy that you guys were right into these. And they're like 3 hours long each of them. There's 3 movies. They're all 3 hours long. So pretty much would take like 3 nights for us to watch one of these movies, right? But we did it. We got through all of them, and you guys were along for the ride, and seemed to have a blast. Your favorite character was Gollum, you think?
No.
No?
Legolas.
What do you like about Legolas?
He's cool. He's got a bow and arrow, which is my favorite type of weapon.
He's awesome with it.
And he's like jumping off of elephants and shooting people out of the air.
He's like slides down the stairs on a shield and while he's shooting arrows.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Mm. And yeah, so the first movie that we'll be talking about is The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring.
That's where it all started, right?
Yep, The Fellowship of the Ring. So yeah.
And this one's the one I personally remember the most, probably because if you're going to sit down to watch Lord of the Rings, you start from the beginning. And sometimes you don't get through the whole trilogy. Nope. But you always get through the first one. So
it's the shortest.
Is it? I don't even know.
I think it was only 1 hour and.
No, they're all 3 hours. I think it says on the box here. It does not say on the box here. We got the Blu-rays, but we got the Blu-ray box set, and it has very little writing on it. But yeah, the first one where we meet everyone.
Yeah, so
how's it start off?
So it starts off with Bilbo Baggins,
yeah,
in his baby house, dollhouse, I'll call it. And yeah, so then he goes and all of a sudden he gets a knock on his door, which is Gandalf the Grey.
Yeah.
He walks in and he takes his shoes off. 5 seconds later, he bonks his head on a lamp.
Which I think he does a couple times.
He does a couple times. You think maybe 3 times.
Little hobbit houses are kind of tight quarters for...
And a big wizards.
Yeah.
And yeah, then they talked for a little bit. And yeah, then they went out and celebrated Bilbo Baggins' 111th birthday.
Is that what his birthday was?
I think that was his birthday,
You remember that?
I think that was his birthday, yes.
Okay, go ahead.
And then he, was, then they went out and it was, Pippin and Merry let off fireworks that turned into a dragon.
You're right. He was 111. I just looked that up. Good job remembering that. I don't remember half that stuff.
And then, they said off a thing. That's all. I watched like 15 minutes of it. That was 15 minutes. And then he went up and said, thank you for all making this town celebrate my 111th birthday. And then he said some other stuff. And then they were like, all the people going crazy. And then he used the ring and snuck to his house. And they all didn't know where he went.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then,
Gandalf meets him there and sees that he has the ring.
Yeah.
And I kind of... So that brought up a question for me that I kind of was wondering, was like, did Gandalf not know that Bilbo had this ring?
He didn't.
He didn't know, which is, it seems like he does at the beginning, because he's like, leave that ring with me. Right? But then the whole mission was, okay, now we need to destroy this ring. Well, why didn't you destroy it a long time ago? Like, he must not have known that Bilbo had this ring. Which will be interesting to see how that plays out in The Hobbit when we get to that, right? Like, because he has the ring. Like, does Gandalf not find out that he has the ring in The Hobbit?
Well, the Hobbit...
We'll see. We haven't got that part.
Yeah, so like, yeah.
But Gandalf must not have known that Bilbo had the one ring. And I guess we should explain the ring too, right? Like, the ring...
It had some writing on it. I have a necklace of the ring that my friend bought me, or was that you that bought it?
I bought it for you at Comic-Con.
Yeah, me and my dad bought me and my friends a matching set of Lord of the Rings rings on a necklace. The same necklace that Frodo wears.
Looks just like his, yeah.
To hold his. So, yeah.
And so the rings, a bunch of rings were created with magical powers for the elves, for the humans, and for the dwarves, but then Sauron made a more powerful ring that would control all of the rings. And this is also something that's kind of confusing, I think, in the Lord of the Rings, that they don't explain overly well, is like...
So, who is the guy that chopped off the ring off his hand? The Saruman's hand.
He was a king or a prince?
He was a prince, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And he chopped off the hand, and then he kept it. And then he got ambushed.
He got ambushed
and then
killed.
That got killed, and then and then it fell into water, and then Smeagol found it, and then Smeagol had, he had it for and then he had it for over...
It was gone for over 2,000 years. It was sitting at the bottom of that lake before Smeagol found it.
And then Smeagol had it for like 2 decades, I'm pretty sure. 2 decades.
He wouldn't have been that old, I don't think.
And then
because Smeagol was a hobbit, I think. I don't know how long hobbits live.
And then
but he had it long enough for it to make him go crazy anyways.
Yeah, and then he dropped it, and then Bilbo found it hiking, and Bilbo didn't know the powers, and he kept it in a sleeve for a long time, and then finally he put it on, and he figured out what the powers were.
Yeah. And
and the backstory of that, it's told in the 2 towers, but I just want to say this a little bit.
I think it's Return of the King. It's the beginning of the Return of the King is when we see Smeagol and his buddy.
Deagle.
Smeagol and Deagle?
Yeah.
Is that their names?
Yeah, and then he was fishing and he found the ring, and then he grabbed it, and then they floated off the rigger, and then Smeagol choked him out and killed his friend and took the ring for himself. They were fishing on a boat in the lake, and he killed his friend, and then he just got all dirty because it was just all controlling him, and he could... And
he was obsessed with it.
He was obsessed with it.
He just went and lived in a cave.
And lived in a cave and just got all dirty and everything.
Transformed him into some creature.
Yeah.
So they created these rings, and then Sauron made one. And it's like...
Why would you think that...
Why would he put all of his power into the one ring?
And he could have split all of his power in like 4 different rings.
Well, he wanted to control all the rings, so it was this huge gamble that Sauron made because once the ring was cut off his finger, exactly, he lost the ring, and then that's what the whole movie's about. Is okay, now he can get his power back
if
because all of a sudden the ring has resurfaced, and when he puts it on, the wraiths go into action to go and get it for him, right?
Yeah, but how did he meet? Who are the wraiths?
That's again, so they're part of Sauron's army. He must control them somehow. Wraiths are can come back from the dead, basically.
They're demons.
You kill them, they just come back. But they kind of have like a spawning point, basically. So
But one guy can kill them for the rest of his life. His name is, do you remember?
Is it Aragorn? With that sword that he has?
With that sword when he met the ghost army in the third movie.
That's right. So, yeah, so I guess Sauron now knows that the ring has been found, and he's sending out his wraiths. Because he still has power, Sauron. But he lost a ton of his power with that ring. Or it's in his ring anyways. And if the ring is destroyed, there goes his power.
Mm-hmm. So then he's gone for the rest of it?
So he's gone. So then that's basically... So then Gandalf says, you know what? I'll give it to this hobbit. Because
looks safe.
If I walk into Mordor, they're going to know right away that I am trying to destroy the ring. And they will kill me. And if this hobbit goes in there, they would not suspect that I would give it to him because that would be stupid. It would be stupid for me to give.
At the beginning of the movie, though, Sam looked dumb because when they were talking and Frodo was just about to leave, Sam was sneaking in their bushes at their house, and Frodo whacked him with the baseball bat.
Yeah. All the hobbits are kind of, except for Frodo maybe, they're all kind of like clumsy and not in very bright
shape.
They're kind of, yeah, they're silly. They're kind of goofy and silly and everything. But as the movies go on,
Sam gets better.
They all do.
Penny gets better. What's his name?
Pippin and Merry.
Pippin and Merry got better.
They all kind of have redemptive stories, right? Like, yeah. I guess in the first movie when they go into the cave of Moria, and then Pippin or Merry, one of the two, knocks the skeleton down the hole and basically wakes up the whole goblin army, and they're constantly doing things like that throughout the whole movie, and Gandalf's just glaring at them the whole time and disappointed in them or just annoyed by them. But by the end of the whole series, you kind of see that no, Gandalf cares about them. And they're all super brave. Like, they all stand and fight every time. Like, they don't hide and cower away. Like, they get in those battles, they pull out their little swords, and they get in their fights. And Merry and Pippin recruit the entire Ent army, like the giant tree people, who...
That's in the second movie.
In the second movie, yeah. Like, they're a huge part of how they were able to survive that battle, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, those guys, they all start off kind of like, oh man, these guys are useless, but they all kind of have redeeming qualities as the movies go on. So yeah, Gandalf sends the Frodo on his mission, and Sam is told to go with him and protect him, and Merry and Pippin run into them along the way, and what are they? They're the Asgul, I think, is what those wraiths are called. Are hunting them down right off the bat. Yeah. And they get away from him the first time, and they're on their way to meet up with a ranger called Strider?
I think so, yes.
At the inn, they go there, and it is Aragorn. And so Aragorn is going to take them to Arendelle? Arendelle, I think, is the name of the elf kingdom.
No, the elf kingdom came to them.
Either way, and on their way, Frodo ends up getting stabbed by one of the Asgul and is dying, and then that
elf girl.
The elf girl, what's her name?
I don't know. She was there for 5 minutes. She was not a main character.
What is her name? Anyways.
But she carried Frodo on a horse all the way back to the place. And guess who was there? Bilbo Baggins.
Bilbo. You and your sister loved every time Bilbo was on the screen, right?
Yeah.
And there they have the meeting where we get the title of the movie, The Fellowship of the Ring, where it's decided that Aragorn, Boromir, Legolas, Gimli, Gandalf, and the hobbits will all travel together to Mordor to destroy the ring and put an end to Sauron forever.
And that is the beginning of the first.
No, that's not the end, because then they go through the mountains, right? They go hiking through the snowy mountains, and then they end up at the dwarf cave, like the city, under the underground city of the dwarfs, and they fight that big tentacle monster before going through the cave door. It's called a Watcher, which you get to use in some of the video games I played, or you fight it in the video games I played. The Watcher, you remember that? You know what I'm talking about? Then they go in there, and then they fight all those goblins and a cave troll.
That was cool.
That was a wicked scene. That's one of the best scenes in the first movie.
Yeah.
And then, as they're escaping, Gandalf fights the Balrog.
Which was very cool. He fights it, and if you actually was focusing on the movie, Smeagol was actually crawling under that cave.
You saw him, you think?
Smeagol was crawling under that cave.
If you say so.
If it went to the scene where something was crawling under there, it was skinny as Smeagol, and he was just...
There was lots of goblins in there. Smeagol kind of looks like a goblin.
No, but like he was more white than a goblin. Like, so yeah.
And so then he fights the Balrog, and the Balrog pulls Gandalf down into a pit.
Oh yeah, and also there was a Witch King.
Arwen,
yes.
that's the name of that elf woman.
Yes, Arwen.
Who Aragorn is in love with, right?
Yes.
Rivendell, that's the name of the elf kingdom too. So then, in between there too, Gandalf and Saruman getting a wizard fight.
And this is kind of off topic, but Frodo has actually a really cool sword.
That's right.
It glows up blue, and we actually have an action figure of his sword that when you move his hand, the sword will glow.
Yeah, that's right. Very cool. And is that how it ends? Or do they... No, then they go... They get through, Gandalf's gone, and then Pippin and Merry are in the tree forest, and they actually end up finding. No, that's not in this one. That's when they...
Oh yeah, that's in the second movie.
They go and they fight with a bunch of Uruks in the forest, and Boromir is killed, and Merry and Pippin are captured.
Mm-hmm.
And then Frodo tries to bail, and Sam chases him into the water. And he can't swim, so then Frodo pulls him into the boat, and they sail off together.
Yeah.
And that's how the first movie ends. What do you think of the first movie?
Not my favorite, but...
Not your favorite one, eh?
I think it was my third favorite, actually. It's my least favorite.
Least favorite of the three? The thing that this one doesn't have is a massive war.
Yeah.
The other two movies have, like, huge battle scenes.
Which is the best part of the whole movies.
Is the two battle scenes, really. What I do like about these movies
it does have a little battle scene at the beginning, which is not their battle scene.
Right. It's like a flashback of...
Yeah, but what's funny in the second movie is... We'll get started in the second movie, but the funniest part of the second movie is when Gimli is riding on his horse and he falls off the horse.
I think he falls off more than once, doesn't he? Or
he falls off like 5 times.
He's super clumsy, and you and your sister were just howling the whole time. Every time he would fall off his horse or he'd stumble somewhere, get knocked over. He's pretty proficient with his axe, but when it comes to balance, he's not quite there.
And also, there's a funny part where Aragorn and him are talking, kinda, and they're like, I got 1! And Aragorn's like, I got 14!
Legolas.
Legolas.
Yeah, they're always competing, the two of them. That was another friendship that kind of builds over the
movie.
Over the course of the movies. And
yeah, so
So yeah, for me, what I like about this one is, well, it's the start of everything. You're
It's
introduced.
different. It's different. Like, it's a different movie from all the other ones. It feels different more.
It's an origin one. Like you're getting introduced to all the characters, all their personalities, and then it's your first time seeing everything, all the creatures, all the goblins, the Urks, and everything. It's your first time seeing everything. And then we go on to the second movie,
which is called, like, The Two Towers.
The Two Towers. And do you know why it's called The Two Towers?
Because there is two towers in the movie that day.
There are two towers at Helm's Deep, but apparently it's because of the tower that Saruman lives in, that large tower, and then also the tower at Mount Doom with the Eye of Sauron are the two towers that are basically the two points of evil. But that's what I read anyways, that's what it's based off of. But I know there's two towers at the entrance to Helm's Deep. So.
And they fall down because of the big water thing from the trees, big water attack.
Right. So, this one, how does this one start? It's
like it's hard. I feel like it's my first favorite.
This is your favorite one of them all?
Yeah.
I thought so too, especially when we watched the Battle of Helm's Deep, and I'm like, this is like the best part for sure of any movie. And then when we watched the third one, I'm like, this is the best part, like the battle in that one.
No, that was the end of that battle.
So yeah, this one starts off, and it shows the ending of the battle between Gandalf and the Balrog, where we saw Gandalf get pulled down into a pit, and you're like, dang, they killed Gandalf. Like, that's crazy.
I was like, he's not dead. You're like, yeah, he's dead.
Oh, he's dead. And then this movie starts off with, no, they fought and fell for like 5 minutes, like the endless pit or whatever, just battling as they're falling. And then Gandalf lands on top of the Balrog in some water at the bottom of the cavern and ends up defeating it. So he's alive. And that's the main problem I have with this movie. I still think it's a 5-star movie. I think it's still amazing. But in this movie, we have at least 3 fake deaths.
And also in this, yeah.
Fake deaths, right? Because
the second fake death is when Frodo gets attacked by a spider and gets all wrapped up.
That's in the third movie. This one, we have Gandalf and the Balrog. You thought Gandalf was dead. Nope, psych, not dead. Then Aragorn gets pulled off a cliff.
Not dead. Psych, not dead.
Psych, not dead. And then Merry and Pippin both get dragged off by Uruks, and they find like their shoes or something, or some like burnt, some ashes. I don't know. They find something that's like, oh yeah, they're dead. And then it's like, psych, they got picked up by the Ents and are in the forest and are perfectly alive. So they have 3 fake deaths in this movie, which I think is too many for one movie, but that being said, it's still amazing.
And plus, one more thing. I think it was this movie where when Frodo says, no, you aren't allowed to come with us because they think he ate all the food, I think. That's the one.
Is that in this one too, or is that in the next one
again? That's this one.
Yeah, you're right.
Later that's in this one. Because Smeagol woke up in the middle of the night and put
sprinkled crumbs on
Sam and then threw all the other food off. And actually, while Sam's going down, he finds all the food that fell off the cliff and realizes that Smeagol did. That he runs up and shows Frodo, and then Frodo leaves him.
Yeah.
And then Sam helped Frodo to come alive. Even though Frodo left him 25 times in this movie.
Sam always understands that it's the ring that's doing it to Frodo, right? He knows Frodo's a good person, and Sam's a good friend. And so when Frodo always lashes out at Sam or does something that he wouldn't normally do, Sam never takes it personally. Like, you can tell that he's hurt, but he still always stands by Frodo's side. And he understands it's the ring that's doing this to you. So he still always protects him, and he still always continues to follow, even when he's not wanted.
That just shows that he's a good friend.
He's a great friend. He's the best friend in cinematic history, possibly.
Cinematic? What's that?
Cinematic. the cinema. Like when you go to the movies, that's the cinema, right? Cineplex? Cinema?
Yeah.
So if you call something cinematic, it's like something that would happen in a movie.
Yeah.
So cinema is film. All films in one is all of film is cinema.
Yeah.
Kind of makes sense?
Kind of.
So this one, they all... Okay, can you stop doing that?
Yep.
Everyone is going to Helm's Deep because the Sauron's army that he's building a huge army out of Ulrics, which are orcs / humans. I didn't know that either from the movie. I'm like,
Nope.
they just look like orcs to me, but
Yeah.
they're kind of taller, I guess, maybe.
They're smaller, I feel like.
Smaller, I don't know, but they're apparently half orc, half human. And then when they make them, they just like come out of like these eggs or like whatever.
They come out of the ground.
Like mud eggs, kind of. It's like, well, how does that make them a half human? I don't know. The whole like creation of this Uruk army isn't really explained, but he's building a massive army and he's just cutting down trees. So I don't know. He's using like plants and stuff like that, and the forest to build an army. Like everywhere he goes, it just kills all of nature and all of plant life in that area.
Who?
Sauron.
Yeah.
Well, he's building his army, right? So he's building the Uruk army, Urukai, and they're marching towards Helm's Deep. They're gonna go and take over all of Middle Earth, kill all the humans, all the nature, all the living things, and just bring on a dark age, all of darkness, right? And so,
yeah. So that's pretty much most of the Two Towers movie.
Kind of. They're on their way to what's going on. So they've captured Sam and Pippin. So Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli are on their way to try and save them. But then they come across that camp that everyone's been slaughtered, and they go, "Oh man, the two hobbits are dead," right?
Uh-huh.
So then they come across an army of Rohan, and they're like, we're on our way to Helm's Deep to make a stand. And so they're like, well, our mission's over because the hobbits we were trying to save are dead, so we'll just come with you. And then they go to Helm's Deep to make a stand, and they all are kind of like, they're probably going to die. Their army's way smaller than the Uruk army, but whatever. And they try to get the neighboring town of Gondor to come protect them, but Gondor and Rohan have never really gotten along, so they don't get help from them. But then the elf army shows up, which is pretty wild, because I was thinking about it, and like elves don't die.
Yeah.
They go off to their, like, I forget what it's called, like their elf heaven, where they are immortal and they live forever. Once they hit a certain age, they go off there. So if an elf army comes to defend you, and they give their life, like, that's a pretty huge sacrifice, because you can live forever if you're an elf, but only if you make it to the motherland, or whatever they call it. And so if you go and give your life in a war, you don't make it to that motherland, and you don't live forever. That's a pretty huge sacrifice if you think about it, right? Giving up your immortality to fight a war for Middle Earth, basically, right? So they're there. And then that's when Pippin and Merry recruit the tree people, and they all say, no, we don't want to go join in your battle. But then they go and see all the damage that the Uruks have done to the forest, and they go, well, now we have to, or else they're just going to come kill us anyways, right? So they recruit them to go help, and then this is the first time that Frodo and Sam meet Smeagol.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Not knowing that Smeagol was the previous owner of the ring. Smeagol sees the ring and agrees to help them get to Mordor, but secretly he's plotting to steal the ring from them the whole time, right? And he plans to lead them into some sort of trap, and that's where the movie ends, is him talking about some trap. But not until we get the battle. we get the Battle of Mordor at the end of this, right?
Yeah, I think so. And then they finish it in
Or
the
not Mordor, Battle of Helm's Deep.
Yeah, and they finish it in the third movie.
Do they really? They don't finish it in this movie?
No, they finish it in the third movie, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure.
Yeah, they definitely finish it, because then Gandalf shows up with that other army, and they run down the hill, and Gandalf shines a light in all their faces, and then the tree people show up. And then, yeah, they're retreating inside, but then reinforcements show up. So then they win the Battle of Helm's Deep. But Gondor's next.
Yep, and that's the end of
That's the battle in the second one.
That's the end
Or the third one.
the second movie.
That's the end of the second movie. So, what do you think of this one?
This one's my favorite.
Number one?
Number one. Legolas is the most in this movie. He's the
That's
main.
right.
He's like the third main character in this movie. Starting as Sam, then it is Frodo, and then.
Legolas really shows off his skills in this one.
Which is my favorite part.
When he's fighting in on the wall there, right? You really get to see his moves there. I agree. That battle is just an incredible battle scene.
I like when he ran, like when they like use that stick to run up there, and they would like use this
Pole vault,
and then Legolas jumped on it, grabbed one of their shields, and slid down, and was just shooting people off like those big elephants.
I think this one's my favorite as well. The Battle of Helm's Deep is just incredible. Everything leading up to it. You meet the tree people. You meet Smeagol, and
you meet everyone else. So
you meet everyone else. Yeah, just incredible battle scene. And
the third one I know the most about.
The third one? So you're going to walk us through the third one then?
I can walk us through the third one.
I know the third one starts with the Smeagol backstory. That's how the movie starts, is where you learn about how Smeagol got the ring. And we already talked about that a little bit.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I could run us through the
Go ahead.
third movie. So the start of the movie is the Frodo. It's the start of the movie. It's Frodo and Sam and Smeagol, and Smeagol's leading to a cave where there's a person in there. Well, not a person, a spider in there that he goes by the name Her. And so they walk. So Smeagol brings them up there. They brought him up there, and it wasn't when they put the crumbs on him. That's in the third movie.
It was this one, because that's why Frodo...
Then they got all the cave. They got all the cave of the spider thing because they escaped.
Yeah.
And then Smeagol's out there, and then they did it. And then they went to bed, and then they did the crumb thing and all the thing that I ran about in the second story. So then they got rid of it, and they all walked, and then they just said, "Leave, Sam, leave." So then Sam was gone, and then they went up. They went up there, and then they made
That's when the spider showed up.
And then that's when the spider showed up, and Smeagol bailed on Frodo, and he said, "Just that way, I have to go. I can't go this way. I'm banned from this place." And lied. And, he said something. I'm not sure if it was banned, but he said something and left. And then Frodo went on his way, and then he, fainted or something.
He got poked with the spider venom.
Oh yeah, and then he
Poison.
got wrapped up by a bunch of spider webs, and then these goblins found him and brought him
into
Mordor.
Yeah. And
then he woke up, and they got it, and all three of them got into a big fight, and there was this tiny one, and there was this big one, and there was this medium-sized one, and and the medium-sized one got in a fight with the big one, and then the small one was trying to break it up, and then the small one got pushed down all the way where all the other ones were, and they were like, huh? And then all of a sudden the big one and the medium one just come flying down. And it's because Frodo snuck up from behind the medium one when they were attacking, I'm pretty sure.
And Sam ran in.
And Sam ran in and poked them and pushed them down.
Yeah.
And then they went off, and then that scene cut in, and then they traveled to Mordor.
The front gate of Mordor.
And then the big battle happened.
Yeah, so then Gandalf goes to, pretty sure it was Gondor, and he's trying to convince the king there, like, hey, you need to team up with Rohan, you need to accept all his help from everyone else, and we need to go to battle against these Uruks together now, or they're going to pick us all off one by one. And the king's kind of being stubborn and everything, and he ends up going crazy and trying to kill his son. And then he gets lit on fire and jumps off the building.
Yep.
And then Aragorn returns, and he turns out that he is the true king. And he had been in hiding basically after his father was killed, and he is the rightful heir to the crown, and so he leads the army, and he goes and he gets reinforcements from that ghost army.
Yep.
That had been dishonored. I forget what they did.
They did something really
They lost
bad.
the battle, is what it was.
Lost the battle, yeah.
And so he ends up recruiting all them using the sword that was used to cut off Sauron's finger.
And
they all realize, oh, he is the true king. And so then that ghost army follows him, which is huge.
And no one can kill him. It's only sword in the whole entire universe, even in like any other land, any other space, any other thing.
It can kill Nazgul, and it can kill ghosts as well. So they go into battle with them, and everyone just basically shows up to battle at the same time and from different angles. The Nazgul are there, like flying in this. But that's what I like about this one, is it has even more creatures. It has those huge elephants.
It had those owls that came in and swooped in.
The eagles, yeah.
The eagles, and they came in and attacked all those dragon things.
Yeah, the Nazgul and the eagles fight each other. So this fight was even more epic.
But I don't think it was better than when
it's hard to say. They're both
I liked
awesome.
When Legolas chopped off the elephant's leg.
Yeah, that's
right.
And
then rode it down and
rode it down, and he was shooting his arrow while he was sliding down the elephant's nose too.
On a shield again. So
just another epic battle. But once this battle's done, then they need to go help. They realize that Frodo still needs their help.
And then they travel, but Frodo's already at the gates with Smeagol.
No, Sam convinces them that Smeagol is bad, so Smeagol gets mad at them.
Yeah.
And disappears for a while. And so it's Sam and Frodo.
And then Smeagol comes back later on.
What happened? Oh, yes.
Don't tell him, but Smeagol will come back later on. We'll talk about it later on.
Frodo's still sick from the spider bite. And so Sam's like carrying him up Mount Doom.
And they finally get up there, and they're finally throwing.
Well, and meanwhile, the whole army is at the front gate of Mordor. Ready to take on the whole army of Mordor, and they're all like circled. They get circled, and they're a small army. They're just gonna take on all the Uruks and everyone, and they're like, whatever. Well, this is how we all die. Like we made our stand. Mm-hmm. Like we can be proud of this. And then at the same time, Sam is carrying Frodo up Mount Doom. Mm-hmm. They get to the top,
and then Frodo he goes to the lava that can only do the thing to drop the ring in. The
only way to destroy the ring, which we never spoke about, is you have to throw it into Mount Doom, the lava of Mount Doom. That's the only thing that can destroy it.
Frodo was at the edge and he froze and was like, "No, I'm not throwing this in, Sam. I'm not doing it," because he got too much obsessed with the ring.
Yeah.
He was like, "I'm not doing this." and then Smeagol comes in and pushes Frodo, and they both go flying off.
He bites Frodo's finger off.
Yeah.
With the ring on it. Because remember, Frodo went invisible and Smeagol jumped on his back and was riding him while he was invisible, and then he bit his finger off with the ring on it.
And then they flew off, and then they and then Smeagol still had the ring in his mouth. Wait, no.
No,
Frodo still had it.
Then it flies off the edge,
and then Smeagol jumps off, has Frodo's leg, and he's like kicking the ring, and then Sam comes out of nowhere, just grabs Frodo's hand, pulls him up, and like Frodo's kicking kicking Smeagol, and Smeagol finally falls with the ring going down too, and then that's how the third movie ends.
And he sinks into
the lava
with the ring
and turns
in his hand. Anything.
And then Smeagol turns into like mashed potatoes because he gets all sucked up and all squishy.
Turns into lava chicken. Yeah.
Yeah, and then so yeah.
And then we get a bunch of wrap up stuff. What? Gandalf goes off to elf heaven with Elrond,
and then at the end of the movie.
But then what's her name? I forgot her name already.
Oh, we forgot a part of the movie. It's in the second movie where I think it's in the first movie that they stop at a restaurant, and no, it's in the last movie. It's at the last part. They go to a restaurant, and there's this girl that Sam has a crush on, and then Sam. And then it goes 2 years later, and they're married and they have kids, and then Bilbo Baggins is going off to elf heaven.
Aragorn's the king, and he gives all the hobbits a bunch of presents, and Frodo goes with?
No.
Frodo goes too, doesn't he?
No, he doesn't.
He stays behind?
He has to stay behind. Because he can't go to elf heaven or else he'll die to elf heaven.
But Gandalf can go there for some reason.
Because he's a wizard, so he can.
Wizards can do whatever they want, I guess.
Yeah.
And it all
ends there.
It all ends there. The whole 9 hours, 3 movies, 9 hours.
Well,
massive,
actually,
epic.
It's not 9 hours because of the minutes. The minutes all combined and
it's even more probably.
It's probably
and then
like
there's the extended versions. We didn't watch the extended versions, but I heard those are even better and longer. But yeah, overall, like, is this the best trilogy you've ever seen? What's your favorite movie ever?
My favorite movie ever?
Yeah.
Are you asking me that question?
It's tough, isn't it? Like, I'd say this is up there. Like, it's hard for me to pick a number one favorite.
It's second.
I got this. I got the Star Wars original trilogy. I got the Matrix trilogy. I got the Evil Dead movies.
I gotta go with Star Wars as my favorite. I have to go with Star Wars.
The Alien movies. Like, those are all top tier for me.
I'm going with Star Wars. I have to go with Star Wars.
The original trilogy?
Yeah, the original trilogy. Or, no, all the movies, all the books.
Just
all
the franchise as a whole.
The whole thing is just like awesome. So is Lord of the Rings, but
Star Wars.
I gotta give Star Wars
one.
Out of 10. I would give it a 9.5. For Lord of the Rings, a 9. They did very good on both of those movies. Well, 9.3 for Lord of the Rings.
9.3 for Lord of the Rings.
And 9.64.
I give both of them 10 out of 10.
I wouldn't give both of them 10 out of 10. There's some bugs I don't like in both. Well,
you're right. They're flawed.
Movies.
There is no such thing as a perfect movie. You're probably right.
So yeah. So then those.
That's true. I respect that.
Star Wars didn't have that much bugs like in the second movie. There's like three fake like psych deaths. So that's a big mistake.
Yeah.
And then Star Wars only has a couple in one movie. So yeah, a lot of the cartoon The cartoons gotta be my favorite of the Star Wars trilogies.
Yeah.
The cartoons are so good.
And there isn't really Lord of the Rings cartoons. There's 3 animated movies.
The TV shows are the best for the Star Wars, though. Now they're making kid Star Wars movie. There's this kid Star Wars movie with like an Anakin or Rey.
Yeah.
That movie's alright.
We'll see. I've fallen behind on Star Wars stuff. Like, apparently Andor is supposed to be really good.
Andor.
It's a TV show that's on their second season right now.
I've seen number one.
I watched like some of the bounty hunter ones. And
that was my favorite. That's my favorite thing that Star Wars has ever done. Me and you watched that. That whole first season.
Yeah.
It was so good. I loved when he fell into I loved when, what's his name?
No, so that's not the show. That's
a movie.
Return of the Jedi. That's the third Star Wars movie, episode 6. But anyways, yeah, we're talking Lord of the Rings. Maybe
we'll do the next one of Star Wars. I think we'll do the next one of Star Wars, maybe.
Maybe that's another deep dive. We'll do some. I've got some plans. We'll talk about that at the end of the episode. Our plans and what we want to do for future episodes. But
yeah, so
Lord of the Rings for me, 10 out of 10. One of the best trilogies ever made. I think it's almost perfect.
The Hobbit combined would be a 9.5.
I think if somebody else tried to make this movie, I don't think you could find better actors to play Frodo, Sam, Legolas, Aragorn, Gandalf, Gimli, even
the elf army, every single person.
Every character is just perfectly cast. The movie is
Smeagol. They played good for Smeagol.
Smeagol's amazing.
Smeagol was a very good play.
This is top-notch cinema. They nailed it. You and I, over the last couple of years, have been playing a little bit of Dungeons and Dragons with our cousins.
Dungeons and Dragons.
And does this not feel just like you're playing Dungeons and Dragons?
Yes.
That's totally what it is, isn't it?
And Dungeons and Dragons is just so fun. It's
amazing. And that's what this is. This feels like an episode of Dungeons and Dragons to me.
Yeah.
Right?
There should make some more.
You got the wizard, you got the ranger, you got the bards, you got the elves.
You got a dragon.
You got a dragon. You got just goblins and orcs and trolls and all kinds of creatures, right? Like it's
spiders.
It's a story. It's a Dungeons and Dragons story, is what it is. But it's Lord of the Rings.
Like I can turn to a spider.
And it would also be cool. Last time we were out of town, when I looked on Marketplace, someone was selling Lord of the Rings Magic the Gathering cards. I know the one ring is like a super expensive card, but they sell packs, or they sold packs. And if we could get some for cheap, that'd be fun to mix those into our Magic the Gathering decks too.
Magic the Gathering ones? Oh yeah. Wait, they're making those now?
They have Lord of the Rings Magic the Gathering cards, so they're out there. So I saw some on Marketplace, but the guy didn't answer me when we were in town. So that'd be sweet to mix those into our decks, eh? Well, I'll have to keep my eyes open and try and get some of those.
My Bruce Scale Legolas, that'd be.
But that's
my green deck.
That's our recap and kind of review of the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Of the movies. Amazing
movies. Like we said before, we're going to get into The Hobbit. We're going to get into the animated movies. I forgot to mention there's a TV show that's cut the second season. It's on.
You talked about that.
There's 2 seasons out, so maybe we'll watch some of that. We're going to take a little break right now and come back, and we'll get into all the video games that we've been playing and the board games and wrap it up after that.
Yes.
We'll take a little break, and then part 2 of this Lord of the Rings episode coming soon.
We'll be back. We'll be back. We'll be back. We'll be back. We will be right back.
All right, Lisa, we're back, and we've got some video games to talk about.
Mhm.
So I played a bunch of these old school Lord of the Rings video games. We have a stack right here. Let's pull them all out. We've got, how many do I got right there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Oh, and 3 more.
13.
We have 13 Lord of the Rings video games total, and that's not even all of them. I think I have most of the console games. I know there are 2 newer ones that you can get for PS5. There is a Golem game, which actually got really bad reviews. I don't know if I will play that. I think there's a demo out. We could just mess around and test it out and see if that's something we want to get. And then there is Another one, it's focused on some dwarfs. I don't know if it's focused on
Frodo or any of them.
No, not the hobbits, the dwarfs. So it would be Gimli. But that one actually looks decent. We could get that one if you wanted. That's a PS5 game.
You could leave it in the comments. If we do comments, you could tell us.
If it's any good, if that's something that we should try. So I'll kind of... Which ones have I not played yet? Let's see here. Played all of those. I have not yet played the Fellowship of the Ring for the original Xbox. I have not yet played...
One-player game.
I did play that one. I have not yet played The Return of the King for the original Xbox. I have not played War in the North for Xbox 360, and that is a 2-player game, so I'm trying to get you to play that with me.
And this one.
That one's 2 player as well, Return of the King. There's 2-player games right there that we should play together, if I can ever get you to do it.
I never played any of these games, so I don't know much about them.
You hopped in for a little bit of 1 or 2 of them. Yeah, 2 of them. But yeah, I did most of the heavy lifting on these. Lord of the Rings Conquest we have not yet played, and that is also a 2-player game. So there's a couple that me and you should play together for the next episode.
I did play one of the games that I kind of played a little bit the most. I think I played the most of Lord of the Rings. No,
not that one. You played a bit of Shadow of Mordor and a bit of the Two
Lord
Towers.
of the Rings, Two Towers, yes.
Another one I did not play is The Hobbit. So we still have... I played 2...
5.
Oh, and Shadow of War.
Okay.
Holy cow. So we got 6 games that we can still play, and I played 6 games. So that's kind of perfect. We can do the other 6 for part 2 when we review the Hobbit movies. So we'll see. Which one did I play first? First game played was Shadow of Mordor for PS4. One of the newer ones.
It looked fun.
This is obviously one of the better... It's one of the newest ones, so it's one of the better games. I mean, over the years, they kind of figure out what works in games, and they just improve upon them. So the newer games should technically be the better ones. But, I mean, with Golem, I guess it's not always the case, so... We'll see. But Shadow of War, for the gamers out there, it's kind of like the Batman Arkham games, the Spider-Man games, the Assassin's Creed games... Infamous series. You have basically an open world map, and you can kind of parkour around the whole map, and when you attack, you have a few attack buttons, and then you have dodge, and you have parry. So then the icon kind of blinks above your head when you need to hit square, so then you counter attack guys and stuff like that. You also have powers that you use. Your character is he's a ranger, much like Aragorn, who he dies, but then his soul gets combined with the soul of an elf who died many years ago. And you find out that he was one of the elves that helped forge the rings originally. The game takes place, I believe, way before Lord of the Rings movies takes place, and it's its own storyline. So that's kind of what's awesome about this one too. A lot of these games you're kind of just playing over the movies again and again and again, and it kind of almost gets old after a while. You keep playing the same story, so it's nice that this one is its own story. Combat's awesome. You fight a bunch of Uruks, and they have kind of a leadership tower. So there's the top ones, the middle ones, and the bottom ones. And every time you die, whichever one killed you, it kind of moves up in the ranks. And you can go around and basically you try and... If you take out some of the higher orcs, you get power-ups from them and stuff like that. And yeah, so the first map is pretty small. I was surprised how small that map was. You kind of run across it and check your map, and you're halfway across the map. So that kind of made it seem like it wasn't overwhelmingly huge. It feels like a game that you can beat, and it's not like crazy huge like Fallout or something like that.
It looked like one of the games that took you a little bit longer than other games.
These older games are all super short, like 8-10 hour games, whereas the newer games are all 20 to 30 hours. So yeah, it did take me a while, but compared to a game like I was saying, like Fallout or something.
Fallout took him like like 3 months.
Forever. And I expected it to, right? Going into it. This one, I kind of, when I looked at the map, I was like, okay, this is not bad. But then once I kind of completed all the side missions and everything on the first map, there is a second map, which is about the same size. So there is a lot to do in the game. I beat the whole game, and then I even started doing a bunch of the trophies that you can do, and I was planning on doing them all, and there was one where you have to get the highest level power up that you can get, and the way you do that is you kind of you spy on one of the top Urks, you find out his weaknesses, you turn his followers against him. There's all these different things that you need to do, and everything that you do will increase the level of the power up that you get from them. And I even Googled like what you need to do this. I did everything, and I didn't get the top level power up, and then that's kind of when I said, you know what, time to move on to a new game. But I did get, I don't know, over 80% of the trophies in that game, so I almost 100% of that one. That's a fun game. Recommended. Shadow of Mordor for everyone at home. Second game I played was The Third Age for the original Xbox. Older game. For the gamers at home, this game is a lot like old school Final Fantasy games, where you run around a map and then you kind of flash to a battle scene, and it's turn-based attacks. So you have your crew and you take turns attacking, and the way that they decide who attacks first is based on the speed of your characters, and you can level your characters up as you go. You can level up your speed, you can level up your power, you can level up your attacks, you can level up your health as well.
Is this one of the games you played with my sister?
And this one is technically 2-player, but it's kind of weird. Yeah, it's technically a 2-player game, but when you play 2-player, you just have one person runs around the whole map, and then when you go to the fight scenes, you usually fight with about 3 characters. So second player gets to control 1 or 2 of those 3 players in combat. And so with your sister, I was basically just telling her what to do the whole time. And I was able to rip through the game way faster when she wasn't playing with me. And it wasn't exactly that fun for her anyways. This one follows... So the story of this one, you have a group, I think like 6 characters. And you follow your own path, but it's still kind of following the same story as the movies, except you're going around, Gandalf is telling you what to do, and you're kind of doing all the quests and the battles that happen off screen in the movies. So like when Rohan's attacked and you see everyone fleeing Rohan and they get attacked, it just shows it quickly in the movies. In the game, you actually go in and fight that battle, and then you join Gandalf and the Rohan army when they come in to help at the Battle of Mordor. So it's a whole cast. You have your own new fellowship, like you have a elf woman named Idril, who is by far the most powerful character in your group. She can resurrect people. She can do spells that when they die, they are automatically resurrected, and then they get a turn to fight as well. So she was definitely the most powerful. There's a few missions later on in the game where she gets separated from the group, so you have to actually use the items that you picked up, because a lot of them do what her powers do, but I was just stacking items the whole game, never using them because I had Idril who could do all that stuff. Can be a frustrating game at times when you're trying to navigate your way around the map, but you just keep getting into battles that you can't avoid because it doesn't show where they are on the map. It just throws you into battles all the time. It was a fun game though, and for being on the original Xbox, this is a really good game for how old it is. When did this game come out? 2000. I don't see it on here. Electronic cards. Long time ago, we'll say anyways.
2009, I'm pretty sure.
2009. So old game.
I wasn't alive.
Before you were born. I can bring it up on backlog too. But yeah, this was still one of the better ones that I played for all the old games that I played. Yeah, fun game, fun story, fun characters. Does it show 2004? Wow. I was in high school. So, yeah, I would recommend that for people that like the old school Final Fantasy turn-based type games. This was a fun one.
It doesn't have that big of a rating, but
3.3 on backlog. That's pretty good actually. So, it's done pretty well. Next up, played a little bit of Lego Lord of the Rings with your sister. If you've played, we didn't get very far in this one. I shouldn't review it yet. I might go back into it. The thing with me and you played a bunch of Lego games back in the day. And once you played one, you kind of played them all.
It was fun playing this game called Lego Ninjago, and it was a never-ending stop game. You would just run around a city and you could fight the citizens and cops and stuff. It was cool.
That one was huge too. There were some crazy fight scenes in that one. You and I played the Star Wars one. You might not even remember that. You were really little when we played Star Wars.
That one was fun.
What else did we play? I think we played some Indiana Jones, and we definitely played Lego Marvel Avengers, which is an awesome game.
That one was a great game. So fun. I feel like it had good reviews too, so it was fun.
Lego Marvel Avengers is open world Lego game. There's a bunch of different maps, but tons and tons of unlockable characters. Hundreds.
Yeah.
Hundreds of characters to unlock. And
my go-to player would probably be Daredevil.
I like anyone that can fly. Because you're in New York City, and being able to fly and get around the map is pretty useful.
Yeah, I like using Spider-Man as someone, because you can swing around low and you're still moving.
Yeah. If you want a Lego game, Lego Marvel Avengers is the one to play for sure. Lego Lord of the Rings, I'm not ready to review that one. We've played a little bit of it, but I got a little bit of fatigue from Lego games. They are all very, very similar. What did I play after that? I played this one. The Battle for Middle-earth 2, Lord of the Rings. This is one of the highest rated Lord of the Rings video games. Battle for Middle-earth 2, 2006 this one came out. I talked to a few people that played this game. They all played it on PC, which, if you know anything about this game, it definitely feels like it should be for PC. But playing it on console, it worked very smoothly.
It looked fun.
This game is pretty sweet. Yeah, it's like, so for gamers at home, if you ever played Command and Conquer, tower defense type game, that's exactly what this is, except Lord of the Rings. You build your main base. You build your barracks, you build your upgrade towers, you build your
training grounds,
resource facilities to get money, and then you build your army, and then you go out and you can build watchtowers and stuff like that. All the different characters from Lord of the Rings. This you can build your main army, but then you can also train heroes as well. So all the different heroes from the games. There was some guy named Bundy or something like that, who was an elf, or not an elf, dwarf, who would kind of skip around, and he was super powerful. And that was on the good side. And there was 9 missions that you could play, and this is one of the only games I've ever turned the difficulty down to easy. And it was at level 7 that I turned it down. So 7, 8, 9 I played on easy. And then you could play as the bad guys as well. And they had way cooler heroes or special abilities that you could use. You could summon a Watcher. You could summon Balrog. You could summon all the different, like the Witch King and all the other different enemies there. And that one as well, on the campaign, I had to go down to easy on level 7 as well. So it was the same, very similar difficulty, no matter which side you play for. Very, very fun for tower defense. Fans of tower defense. Battle for Middle-earth 2 on Xbox 360. I would definitely check that game out. After that, I went into Lord of the Rings, Aragorn's Quest. Now this one, I believe, I'm going to look this one up real quick. 2010? I would not have guessed that. This one has a bit of a lower rating, 2.3 on Backlogged. Just looking at all the reviews, yeah, they're all 2 stars, 2.5, 1.5. This one, what are you looking at?
And Lego Lord of the Rings are the 2 most popular Lord of the Rings games.
Return of the King, eh? So that's one that I haven't played yet. Yeah, I heard that Return of the King is good, and that's 2 players, so you and I should play that one, eh?
And then so Lord of the Rings, the Lego Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. We definitely got to do that. So, Aragorn's Quest, this one, if I had to compare it to another game, I would compare it to, like, Diablo. Or you and I played Neverwinter.
Neverwinter was an amazing game. Creating your character was so fun. I was a little hobbit that was like 2.5 feet. And I had this guitar. And every time I would run, I would just be right under them. I would be like so low.
Yeah, and Neverwinter is by far a better game than this one. This is for the PS2, came out in 2010. You're dungeon crawling. You're picking up loot that you can upgrade your character with. You can upgrade your character as you go. People say that this one was directed more to kids. I didn't really see that myself. It is a bit like you're just hack slashing through there. It doesn't feel as big of a game as all the other ones that I've mentioned. All the other three out of the other four that I've talked about, I would recommend over this one. But if you just want a dungeon crawling hack and slash that you can rip through in a short amount of time, Aragorn's Quest is not a bad game. Yeah, especially after reading everything about it, I expected worse for sure, but it was fine. It was a fine game. And the last one I played, Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers for PS2. What's this one's rating? Lord of the Rings, Two Towers for PS2, 3.4.
It's pretty good.
So that's pretty good as well. This one it's similar to Aragorn's Quest, except you're a little bit closer to the battle. The graphics are better.
Looks funner.
Your upgrades for playing this one is how the upgrades work? Oh yeah, you can pick an upgrade every time. I went for all the health and weapon upgrades every time, but you can upgrade more combos that you can use. I didn't really use the combos much. I didn't want to memorize all the different combos, and I got through the game just fine, just doing health and weapon upgrades mostly. Another hack slash. You follow the map, hack slash, follow the story of the Lord of the Rings, and it goes right up until the end of the second movie. So it starts at Fellowship. You get Fellowship of the Ring and the Two Towers in this game, and then they're kind of like coming soon, the Return of the King.
As I said, I won't be talking on this game thing because I never played any of these games.
You didn't really play these ones. That's why I saved all. That's why I haven't played any of the 2-player games yet, because I'm trying to get you to play them with me. Which what do you think you're going to?
Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow night.
You actually want to start some of these games now?
Sure.
After hearing me talk about them, you kind of feel like playing some 2-player Lord of the Rings games?
Yeah.
Well, that would be sweet. Which one are we going to play? Probably Return of the King? War in the North.
Mm-hmm.
That looks awesome. And it looks like a new story, too. Create your own fellowship. We get to create our own characters.
Okay.
This game looks sweet. Yeah. Good choice for that one, I think. So, yeah, Lord of the Rings games seem to kind of copy other games, but then just put you in the Lord of the Rings world. So, yeah, Middle-earth is a Command and Conquer style game. You got the Lego game. You got the Third Age, which is Final Fantasy style game. You got Shadow of Mordor, which is your Batman, Spider-Man style game. Aragorn's Quest is your Diablo type game. And the Two Towers, I would say, would be like an old God of War style game. Learn your combos, hack slash your way to the end of the game. My favorite out of all of them, Shadow of Mordor for sure. Second place would probably be the Third Age. Third place would be Middle-earth 2. Then Two Towers. And then my least favorite would be Aragorn's Quest. And that's kind of probably similar to how they're rated on most websites. Middle-earth 2 gets a huge rating. There's a lot of...
You didn't like Aragorn's Quest?
I liked them all. That's the thing. There isn't any that I didn't like. I played a pirate game for PS2 recently, and I turned that game off. I was not feeling it. These games I played through 100% of the games. I didn't really talk. Aragorn's Quest is the story from the movies, but completely from Aragorn's point of view. It's all narrated by Sam. So it's after the movies have happened. Sam's talking to his kids, and he's telling them the story of Aragorn's Quest. So that's how that one goes. Two Towers, I told you the story. Middle-earth 2, I could not follow the story very well on that. I should have taken notes. I was just playing the game and just playing the different scenarios they put us in, and had a blast with that. Third Age, I went over the story, and Shadow of Mordor, I went over the story a little bit. Yeah, again, I didn't take many notes, but if you want a new next-gen console game, Shadow of Mordor is the one to go with. I have Shadow of War, which is the sequel to that, which people like the first one better. They just said that, from what I've heard, is Shadow of War is very much similar. It's just there's more side quests. So what I kind of liked about Shadow of Mordor was that at first glance, it's like, I can beat this game. It's not overwhelming. You don't feel like you're going to spend the rest of your life playing this game. And that was a bonus for it. Those are the Lord of the Rings games we've played so far. We will we'll play some more by the time that we're done the Hobbit series. We're still reading the book. Gonna watch the movies. Gonna play some more of the games. Going to play some more of the board games. And get a part 2 out to you. But we're still not done part 1, are we?
Nope.
What else do we have to do for today?
We have some Magic the Gathering, Universe Beyond, the Lord of the Rings, Middle Earth Magic cards.
We got a booster pack from the Lord of the Rings with Magic the Gathering cards. 12 cards in it, and we haven't opened it yet. We wanted to open it
on the podcast.
And get a live reaction.
So, let's see what we get. Oh!
And they all just flew all over.
What's that?
Sweet.
First card, we got a Great Furnace.
Great Furnace, which is a artifact land. Great Furnace isn't a spell.
We got a Smeagol. Instant Smeagol.
That's a land. Okay, let me go through them here. We got Soothing of Smeagol. Return target non-token creature to its owner's hand. The ring tempts you. So that's an alright water card. This is, we got a rare. Here's a rare for us.
Wow.
We got Lotho, Corrupt Sheriff. Legendary creature, halfling rogue. Whenever a player casts their second spell each turn, you lose 1 life and create a treasure token.
Were these people even in the Lord of the Rings?
So I don't really like any of these cards yet, but that's okay. That's alright. At least we got a rare one in there. What's this? Is that a rare as well? We got Assault of Osgiliath. Amass orcs X, then goblins and orcs you control gain double strike to haste until the end of turn. Double strike, that's alright. It's kind of a cool one.
We haven't even got a photo or anything yet.
We got the Mirkwood Bats, a creature, 2/3, flying. Whenever you create or sacrifice a token, each opponent loses 1 life. That one's fine. We got Lost to Legend, put target non-land historic permanent into its owner's library, 4th from the top. That's alright. We got Grima Wormtongue, legendary creature, human advisor. Your opponents can't gain life. Oh, that's alright. We got Lorith of the Healing House, legendary creature, human cleric. That's alright.
I don't really like this pack so far.
So far, I don't have any cards that I really love, but Haradrim Spearmaster. At the beginning of combat on your turn, another target creature you control gets +1. He's okay. We got Took Reaper. When Took Reaper dies, the ring tempts you. A Nimble Hobbit. Whenever Nimble Hobbit attacks, you may sacrifice a food or pay 2 mana. When you do, tap target creature and opponent controls. It's okay.
Second last card.
East Farthing Farmer. When East Farthing Farmer enters battlefield, create a food token. When you do, target creature you control gets +1/+1.
Last card, not a good finishing card.
Last card is a land card. Basic land plains, which will just be cool to have in the deck. But kind of a bust, wouldn't you say? What do you think?
Yeah. No Frodo, no nothing.
Yeah, no characters that we really
know from the start.
Yeah, I mean, they got orcs, Smeagol. That's not even a Smeagol card. It's an instant Soothing of Smeagol. And we got one This is the one right here. This is supposed to be our best card, and I wouldn't even put that in any of my decks, really.
It's a rare, though.
It's a rare. A little gold icon on it.
That was the worst pack I've ever seen.
Oh, here's a rare too. So this one's a rare as well. See the gold there? So we got 2 rares. This one I would probably put in a deck actually.
It looks good.
Amass orcs X, then goblins and orcs you control gain double strike to hasten to the end of turn. So that one I would put in a deck.
Well, we wasted $12.
Wasted $12? Yeah. That's kind of how it goes sometimes, eh?
At least we got a cool pack.
Where did we get this pack from?
Comic-Con.
From our local Comic-Con. You bought a ton of Pokemon cards there, and you spun the wheel for packs there, and you got
really good cards.
a really good card. Every pack, so you got 2 packs and your sister got 1, and you both got really good cards in both your packs.
3, actually, I got 3.
And then we bought a Lord of the Rings pack, and it was kind of a bust, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But you know what we'll do? We will grab another pack for part 2 episode.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
And hopefully we get like a Smeagol or something like that.
Yeah, I'm just happy we got rares because we don't usually buy packs of cards. We usually just buy secondhand cards, and we don't have very many, if any, rares.
We don't have any.
We don't really care about that. We just have
Decks. And I even
decks
unstoppable deck.
decks that you and I play against each other with. And
I've never lost.
with your forest deck. Yeah, that deck's crazy, but I did put some new cards in our decks.
There's nothing in that deck lower than a 2.
Which means you don't get to play for the first few hands because you need to put a bunch of land down before you can put
I know, but I have like so many mana in that hand. It's like crazy.
Well, yeah, so that's, I don't know, I thought that we were on a roll when we got those Pokemon decks and got all those good cards, and then this deck isn't that impressive, but we get a couple rares, so I don't know.
We'll get another pack somewhere.
We'll get another pack, and we'll open that pack on our part 2 episode.
Yes.
And the last thing for us to review today, what do we got?
Board games.
We got board games. We've got 3 Lord of the Rings board games. We have the Lord of the Rings Complete Trilogy board game, the Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey Adventure board game, and the Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King board game. We played one of these.
And we will start with...
Well, we only played one of them. The other 2 we'll save for our part 2 episode, right? We've got the Lord of the Rings, The Complete Trilogy Adventure board game.
Fun game.
Fun game.
Interesting. Played it with one of his friends. It was fun.
Jolty came over and played with us.
And I got the ring in the first card that you got. And if you don't have the ring by the time you get to the end, you lose.
Yeah, so the map, you build it with all these little pieces that come in the board. The map is pretty huge because it's chronicling the entire trilogy. And you have one person plays as Sauron's army, and everyone else plays as members of the Fellowship.
I played as Frodo.
You were Frodo. So Frodo and Smeagol need to get to Mount Doom together with the ring. That is the goal of the game. And then you get to battle to throw the ring in. If either of them die or Sauron gets control of the ring, then Sauron wins the game. As you go through, you have to search for the ring throughout the map. So if you really studied the movies and you know where the ring is, you would search that area for the ring, right? You also have to find Smeagol. So if you watch the movies, you would know where they meet up with Smeagol, and you would search that area. But basically, you could search an area and find every card in that area, and the ring would be the last card. Or Smeagol would be the last card. So that's what...
But the front card of the deck was the ring, and I was the first one to get one of those cards that lets you open one of those cards.
So you guys were ready to move on at that point, basically.
Yeah, so we technically won the game already.
You have to make it through the whole way. And the enemies at the beginning, you guys were flying through them pretty easily, but I looked ahead, and like when you face the Balrog, like he can take you out in one hit.
Yeah.
So the enemies get more advanced as you go, and I thought it was a pretty fun game. I think, do you play this game more than once? You would have to put some time in between, because once you know where the ring is, once you know where Smeagol is, your next playthrough would be a lot easier.
Yeah, I kind of forgot now, so.
Exactly. So you put some time in between, and I think this game does have some replayability. What would you... Oh, Legolas. That's one thing that you know too. If you're playing as Sauron, you very quickly realize how powerful Legolas is, and you stay away from him, right? Because if you're playing as Sauron, you're basically going for the ring the whole game. Yeah. So you're going after Frodo, but if Legolas is anywhere near there, you probably want to...
You're screwed.
Yeah, you stay away from him. He can attack from a distance, and he can attack more than one enemy at a time. So he was by far the best tank.
I also liked Frodo because he can move the most amount of steps.
Yeah, they all have their perks.
And if he got one of his, like, the glow sword, he could go 4 steps. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't remember his ability 100%, but I'd say it's a fun game. We've got a huge pile of board games here, and we're going through. And anytime I find a game that I don't like, I'm almost relieved. I'm like, okay, I can throw this game out and make more space for other games, because we have no space. We have
a million board games, and I see a bunch of them that I do not like.
Yeah, well, all these ones on the floor over here are games that we haven't played yet. So we got to get through that pile, and then if they're good, they get to go in the closet. Yeah. So
the closet is a good closet. So you have to make the closet to be a good game.
Lord of the Rings, the complete trilogy, does it make the closet? No. I think so too. Yeah, I agree. It makes it. We're gonna put it in there.
Well, we might even save it out. We might keep it out because we might play it someday.
We might play it someday. We've got these other two. I think. Let's open up the Hobbit here real quick. No. Or actually, we can just look at that. Look at the board on that.
It looks the exact same.
I think it's the same. And is it made by the same people?
I think it is. Who's it made by?
This one's made by Pressman.
Where does it say this one's made by?
Pressman, yeah. So, oh yeah, these character cards. So
this board is broken.
I think the Hobbit, The Unexpected Journey looks like it's going to be almost the same.
If I were to go trade this into like a dealership that would take stuff or something like that, whatever it's called,
yeah,
they will give it to me for $5. It's broken.
Yeah, the box isn't in good shape on that one. This one's fine. Yeah, so Hobbit will be the same. So I think we put Lord of the Rings, the complete trilogy, in the closet. Hobbit we can play after we watch the movies, and in the meantime we can play the Return of the King board game, which is not by Pressman, and it looks way different. Look at this. You build Mount Doom with this stuff.
Ew.
And you have, I don't know what this is. This looks like your power or something, and you move the ring along this thing.
Ooh, can we take it off?
As you go. You already have your own ring.
Mom broke. Green stuff came out of it.
But we will be able to, the green stuff came out of your ring?
Yes. It snapped.
What?
I dropped it.
The one that you got at Comic-Con?
No. It's the one that you had.
Oh, my ring. You broke my ring.
Yeah.
So I get the one that you got at Comic-Con then.
You can ask Remy for it.
What do you mean?
You could ask Remy for the one that he got.
Why?
Because I might give you mine.
Remy didn't break my ring.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, well.
He broke your money.
Not a big deal.
It was only $15.
So that's our part 1 of our Lord of the Rings deep dive. We watched some movies. We played some video games. We played a board game.
Yeah, now we might have to post this.
We're going to post this. This is our first episode ever. Thanks for listening. We'll get an email going, ListoCorps@hotmail.com. We'll get an Instagram going, and we will get a YouTube going. So follow us and like us on all that stuff.
Comments if you want.
Comment, email us. If you send us a good email, we will read it on our next episode.
You guys could tell us a good thing that we could try.
Yeah, we would love to take recommendations. Like us, follow us on your podcast catcher.
We're gonna do a
subscribe so you get all our next episodes. Sneak peek coming up. What do you want to do for our next one? I know what I've got
Ninja
planned.
Turtles. I got Ninja Turtles as one. Star Wars.
You want to do go into those?
Terminator.
I think there's.
We can play that collector's item game. The collector's item Terminator.
Yeah.
We played that.
That's right.
It's 2-player.
That looks sweet. Oh man, you're giving me too many good ideas. I know our next episode is going to be Warfare.
Or Predator.
The new Alex Garland movie.
It looks good.
And we are matching that up with 3 Modern Warfare video games. The original Modern Warfare trilogy, Modern Warfare or Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare 1.
I just have to
2,
finish the next
3
games and then we're good. We're gonna start it.
Yeah.
I just gotta finish my 3 games. I might.
And they're quick. I've blown through them already.
Yeah,
We gotta watch the movie.
I played it for 1 day and I'm already past halfway through the first one.
And they are sweet. So that'll be our next episode. I'm also planning a Predator episode. There's a new animated anthology on Disney. I want to introduce my kids to the first Predator movie, the second Predator movie.
We started watching the first one.
And Prey, as well as the video game Hunting Grounds and the new anthology
I
on
was
Disney.
playing Hunting Grounds. Hunting Grounds is a great game. Great for online. Great for playing with friends. It's very fun when your friends are playing and they have a mic. If you're playing online with nobody, and the mic with the Predator has the mic. I like when he does the one game where he threw a CPR on the ground. When you can throw a CPR on the ground, like a medikit.
Oh yeah.
And the Predator picks it up. He puts a grenade in it. You can put a grenade in it, and he waits for 10 seconds. And he puts his hand on it, and the whole map just blows up. So try not to throw a medkit where Predator is standing.
Warfare, Predator. There's a new Jurassic World movie coming out. I wanted to play Jurassic World Evolutions as well.
Jurassic World is a great movie. Suggest it for you guys to watch. Maybe in theaters too.
Maybe we should go watch that in theaters.
Remy's going to watch it in virtual reality.
Whew. Those 3 episodes. We've been talking about a fortnight. What are we? Season 6, Chapter 3, or Chapter 6, Season 3, or whatever it is right now.
Chapter 6, Season 2.
Season 2, Chapter 6, Season 2. We were talking about doing something about that. And MetaQuest. So we got a whole lineup of shows coming up, and maybe we'll do something else in between there. But for now, we got episode 1 in the bag. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for
tuning in.
Tune in.
And hopefully you come back for episode 2. Bye.
Bye.
Welcome to the show, Mr. Father-Son vibe. ListoCorps, yeah, we're keeping it alive. Talking movies, board games, video game grind. 2 minds combined, sharp wit intertwined. ListoCorps, where the convo's a feast. From the classics to the new, with the beauty and the beast. Grab a seat, hit play, let the banter increase. Father and son, we unleash the unleashed. Corpse got the wisdom, the dad jokes galore. Only still bringing heat, young blood never a bore. Controllers and hand dice hitting the floor. Breaking down the lore, always coming back for more. From the screen to the table, we dissect and explore. Hidden gems and blockbusters, legends and the lore. Press start, roll the dice, open up the next door. Father-son duo, never hear you yell and snore. Corpse got the deep cuts, Listo keeps it fresh. Opinions fly sharp like a cinematic sketch. Talking plot twist, Easter eggs, what to digest. A podcast, the quest, every topic gets addressed. ListoCorps, where the convo's a feast. From the classics to the new, with the beauty and the beast. Grab a seat, hit play, let the banter increase. Father and son, we unleash the unleashed.